Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Lockbox, hosted by Emerald Coast Real Producers. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Lori Ogles with Relay Title. How are you doing, Lori?
Doing well, thank you.
I'm good. As a real estate agent, have closed with Lori a couple of times, and I know I've used you for many times for questions that I get that are out of the blue. You've been in title for a little while, haven't you?
30 years this year.
Okay, just a
30
couple
years.
years.
Yeah, just
So,
a few.
how did you get into title and have you so for 30 years, that means you started in 6th grade?
Yeah, yeah, way back then in kindergarten, I think. Yeah, I actually did 10 years with Barnett Bank. And when they got bigger and merged with Nations and then got bigger still and merged with Bank of America, the answer to everything we tried to do was it can't be done. I don't work that way. And it really stifled me and made me feel I don't know, like I couldn't use my best skills. I
Mm,
had to follow their little checklist. And then they turned to heavily intensive telephone sales, and I was out. I feel like now, if I look back on it, banking was great. It was a great learning experience because I know what's going on in the back room now when they try to snow me and tell me, oh, well, it's got to go through this. It's got to go. I've seen it go through this. I've seen it go through that. I know what you're doing. And it helps me call BS, I guess, on some of the lenders that are really just making you jump through hoops for no reason. Um, but I did 10 years with them and then formally retired when they sold to Bank of America because I just wanted to get out and do something different. And before I even left the bank that week, I had an offer from Rob Blue over at Burke and Blue to come talk with him and ended up leading his closing department in the Miramar Beach office for 10 years.
that's awesome. It's funny, God has a funny way of working and closing one door and opening another one right away.
Yeah.
If you're like me, you don't pay attention and you just wait until he, like, smashes it in your face, but it's
Exactly right.
that
I
happens.
can honestly say I have never left a job, outside of, the random jobs for college and things like
Yeah,
that, but career job, I have never left. I have always had something much better drop in my lap.
that's amazing. That's awesome, and, so you've been with Relive for how long?
20 years.
Oh, I didn't realize you were around that long.
20 years. Yeah, I started in 2006 with them, and we might do 2 or 3 closings a month at that point in time because Alice Beach was just getting started, and our sole purpose in life was to close Alice Beach at the beginning. And we have branched out, now to where we'll close anywhere in the state of Florida.
Oh, that's awesome. Now you guys don't just have branches here in Florida, you guys are kind of spread out now, right? You're in Alabama?
Yeah. Yeah, we have offices in Tennessee and we have 22 offices around the state of Alabama.
Wow,
So
that's exciting.
we cover Alabama really well. Really
That's
well. And we
that's what it
have
was. I had somebody looking for development over there. I remember calling you and you got me in touch with somebody at Relay over in and that was very smooth and easy, and I don't know what happened to that developer because the answers we got weren't what he wanted, so it wasn't and I don't do real estate over there, so I know I referred him out, was like, "Good luck," but they have different rules and different stuff, so but that was really you guys were made it really easy to talk to somebody interstate, so
well, that's what I like about the folks at our other offices. A lot of them are new, but some of them are the old school folks that have been there forever as well. So there's a good blend of the young folks with good ideas and the older folks who are holding down the fort and know what they're doing and can really process stuff quickly. Um, it's just, I mean, it sounds so cliche, but it is a family. I mean, everybody knows everybody. We make a point of going up to home office in Alabama every year so everybody can put a face with a name, spend time together, and get to know each other.
that's awesome. Well, so you've been around with them since 2006. Well, how has the company evolved since then? Like, what is from what you guys were doing in the early days and like, not just, I know, I don't want to say title's the same every time, but I just know I turn in the paperwork and you guys tell me when we're going to close. Make sure we have all of our signatures. But I mean, what is your guys' goal with like working with realtors? Like, what do you offer to us and how do you stand out in the marketplace? Just how have you changed in the last few years with working with us?
At the beginning, it was a little more generic. across the board with different title companies. Everybody had their own software, their own way of doing everything, and they just did what they did. When I came on board here, I made it my goal to be more of a closing concierge, if you will. If you don't want to make all those phone calls, you don't want to order this, that, or the other, we'll get the approvals. We'll order that for you. Not a problem. Don't waste your time. Let us waste our time. That's what we're here for. And if you have things to clear up, what have you, we help with that, obviously. But my goal is to find a way. There's got to be a way to do things without a gut wrenching ordeal.
Mhm.
It should be a pleasant process. People should not be stressed out. They should not be running here, there, and everywhere trying to figure it out. They should be able to start with us at contract and go all the way to closing without pulling their hair out, without getting frustrated, without tears. It should be a joyful experience to buy a home.
Yeah.
And that's really what we believe. It should be fun. It should not be a hard thing, and it should not be something that the buyer or seller, either one, or their agents have to figure out on their own.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, that's a big part of I was taught very early on by my first broker. She said your job is to remove the stress from the transaction. I don't care what they're freaking out about. You figure out what it is and you go fix it. Or you call somebody to fix it. Or you start building your vendor list and get your vendors to help fix it. So but that's I mean, that's true. It should be a very I mean, not it should be a joyful experience because people are building their wealth, they're building their investments, they're taking the next step in life. Not everybody gets to buy a house, not everybody's qualified to buy a house. So it's a pretty big deal. I know us in the industry, we see it every day, so we might lose that little glitter from it sometimes, but so speaking of that, you had touched on like making sure that you take care of your clients. Like what is the company's like core beliefs behind what you guys do?
The main thing about Rely is we want our realtors to feel like we understand what they need from us and that they're going to get the best service that they could possibly get for their clients every time. And that's whether you're a first time home buyer, whether you're a big time cash investor, whether you're doing a refi, we will take you from start to finish. And now that we have the Qualia system, we've gone high tech on that. So we can communicate, send requests out to the clients via Qualia. They send an automated request for example, LLC documentation, trust documentation, anything we might need. So we don't have to bother people multiple times a day with petty phone calls. But we do reach out and speak to people on the phone if that's what they prefer. So our system has a way to track if they prefer to speak on the phone, if they prefer to engage by email, if we need to text them, our system will do that as well. So we can communicate in the way that the people prefer. We've got clients that are here local that we talk to on the phone all the time, and we really enjoy chatting with them and getting to know them. And then we have clients, I've got one that's closing tomorrow actually in Lithuania, and we communicate by text because he's 8 hours ahead of me most of the
Mhm.
time. And he doesn't know what time it is my time, and I don't know what time it is his time when I think of something. We just text each other and make that happen. And he knows when he needs to call, he can call my cell phone. If it's Friday evening at 11 o'clock at night, I'm going to answer. If it's Sunday morning at 6, I'm going to answer. And if I can't answer, I'm going to at least see that he called and get back to him as soon as I can.
That's the nature of the business, so that's part of delivering a world-class experience and making sure that the process is easy so they don't feel forgotten or put on the back burn anyway. Um, I mean, you highlighted a little bit of that transaction, but do you have a transaction or any stories that really reflects like your commitment to service and problem solving, or any fun, juicy stories?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think
Oh,
our favorite one here was during Hurricane Helene.
okay.
Okay, so we had buyers that lived north of Atlanta, and they were driving down here to sign and close and move in, and they literally were pushed back by the hurricane. So they left north of Atlanta the moment these storm winds passed Atlanta. They went off road, they went highway, they went back road, they went however they could to get down here. And they called and said, "Oh my God, we are making progress, but it's taking forever. We don't know what to do. What do you want us to do? I don't know if we're going to make it in time." And we were, of course, last day of contract. If they don't close, they lose it. The sellers were not agreeable, didn't care what they were going through to get here, just very cut dry. We want it this way. And if they don't show up by 5 p.m., we're done. And I said, "Look, contract ends on the date that it ends on, but it doesn't end till midnight, as long as we're still that day." So we said, "Listen, you're 3, 4 hours away still. It's 5 o'clock. I'm hanging out. I'm waiting." We hung out. We waited. We closed maybe 8 o'clock at night when they finally rolled into town. It all worked out. But they were stressed because they were thinking typical 9 to 5. At 5, everything closes. We are done and we cannot help you. And I said, "No, no, no. You have made the effort to get out of your neighborhood, to get here however you could with your entire family and your dogs in the truck. Least we can do is wait for you to get here so that we can make sure we keep your transaction active. We don't want you to lose your home." And that transaction was, it was very, very, nerve-wracking for the buyer because the seller was so strict. The seller was that person who said, "You can't hand him a key until after I've already received my wire transfer." He set alarms on the property so that the police would be called if the buyer tried to get in.
Goodness.
And it was just super frustrating until the buyer actually they got here. We were able to, give them some refreshments, get them to calm down a little bit, relax after the
Yeah.
drive, get it signed. Everybody was happy. And we actually ended up convincing the seller that we have their money in hand. We have all the signed documents. The minute things open up on Monday, we'll wire your funds. And he was kind enough to let us give him the keys. But it was an ordeal, and it shouldn't have been, and the buyers kept a sense of humor about it, through the whole thing, which I think was key. They didn't let the stress get to them. But that's just kind of who we are. I mean, if you're driving to me, you've got a flat tire, you ended up in the Lowe's parking lot, I'm on my way. We're gonna sign on the trunk of my car in the Lowe's parking lot. I mean, if that's what it takes, it's just you do what you have to do to get the job done.
Hey, I fully understand that. I've been in those situations where it was like, well, we want to get this listed, but we don't have a computer. We already shut everything off at the house. I've got the papers in my car. Hold on, let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, real estate's not as glamorous and pretty as they showed on Bravo. So, um, sometimes it can be, but there's a lot of twists and turns, and I have a lot of gray hair. So,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we do the glamour stuff, we do the high-end open houses if agents need us to help with that. We've done champagne and wine bars. There's live music going on, food, wine, entertainment. It's a fun evening to do something like that, and we don't mind helping out with that kind of thing at all. We've been known to throw full mimosa closings in our office. It's just whatever your clients want and expect out of the transaction. If they want it to be super bougie and fun and everybody's sipping champagne while we sign, we can make that happen. If you want it to be, "Oh my God, I'm in a hurry. I have a panic attack. Got to pick up my kids at school. I need you to run down to the parking lot, literally sign with me on a clipboard." Fine.
yeah,
You do you. We'll make sure it's happen.
I like that. Well, that's just another like reassurance as a real estate agent that like, hey, I'm going to put my clients in your hands. Like I'm handing you off my, I want to say my babies, but my clients, and I do take care of them like their family because it's like, hey, I mean, the whole reason I got into real estate is because I watched my parents go through a horrible transaction. I was like, I want to take up some space in the marketplace. So then nobody else has that experience. And I'm handing people over that care and trust about me. So knowing that we have partners, and that's part of real producers too, is making sure that we have valid, like partners that are really going to take care of our clients. How do you maintain your relationships with agents and even lenders? Because I know you have to work hand in hand with them. Because once we go under contract, all of us kind of have to walk lockstep to make sure all the dominoes fall into the right place. How do you maintain those relationships with the thousands of us that are out there?
Well, of course, we make phone calls, and we follow up with people that way and by email. But I just try to stay active out in the community and get out in front of people and just be a part of their lives. going to structured meetings and all of that is fine, but a lot of the best relationships and the best communication happens when you're at the sideline at a football game or at a charity event and you're just chatting off in the corner. The structured, "Oh, let me take you to lunch," and all that, that's lovely. I have a card, I'm willing to swipe that bad boy and treat anybody to lunch that wants to go. But sometimes I feel like that's a dog and pony show, if you will. People are trained that that's part of business and you have to do that. Yeah, you do, but you can also meet for Irish coffee at 5, or, you can go to brunch,
Where's my
or,
girl?
yeah, or you can show up on the beach, and kick back in a lawn chair, whatever works. We're happy to do that, and we just like to have fun for the most part. I mean, if there's a fun event going on somewhere, we're absolutely gonna be there to either help put it on or to enjoy it, you know? It just interacting in people's lives on a daily basis, I think, is more effective than trying to schedule a lunch once every quarter with everybody,
Yeah, no,
because you just can't do it. With the schedules the way they are, you just can't.
no, and we were doing a monthly, happy hour for our world producers, and we still have those. I paused it during spring break because I didn't realize I knew it was busy. I should know how vacation rental season is, but we paused it, and it's actually been a good thing. We have our next one coming up in April for the bonfire that you guys are, helping us out with and sponsoring, which is exciting. But the networking part of whatever we do is really where everything seems to come together. It's building those relationships, having conversations. I mean, I know at the end of the day, like, even though there's 5,500 other competitors for real estate agents around here, our kids go to the same school. I always say we play in the same sandbox. We're gonna go to the same supermarkets. We're gonna go to the same stores. We're probably racing by each other on the 98. Not texting and driving, but we're still gonna be running into each other, and that's where everything kind of comes together. And the networking part and getting to know everybody, like getting to know you, and you have a fun extracurricular thing you do outside of title.
I do. I am the bass drum player for a bagpipe and drum band in my free time.
That is
Uh,
so cool.
yeah, yeah. I lay down the beat. Everybody has to follow me. So,
That is really awesome. You guys were just
yeah.
playing for St. Patty's Day, weren't you?
Yeah, we did the, Panama City Scottish Games the first weekend in March. Every year, they have a two-day event in Panama City at Frank Brown Park, and we do that every year. And then we played at Bayou Pub over in Niceville for St. Patrick's Day weekend, which we've been doing the past several years, with them. But we also venture out to Biloxi, Dothan, whenever they have a Highland Games that everybody can get to, we put on our multiple layers of hot wool and off we go.
That's when you said hot wool, I was like, "Hot wool in
Yeah.
Florida." Oh, no.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Wool knee socks, triple layer wool kilts. Yeah, wool hat. It's lovely in the 90 degrees in the shade type
Dare I
temperatures. Yeah.
ask you guys put, like, ice packs or fan? I don't wanna I just am like, "That's gotta be really hot."
And it is extremely hot, but, we do what we do because it's fun, you know?
I love that.
And the kids and even some of our realtors, had visited last year when we did the Highland Games and came out and took pictures with the band and all that. It was just a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, I know that Relay going back to Relay, you guys do a lot, like, with community, don't you? I know I've seen you
Yeah,
guys.
all the real offices really do. We get involved in the local community with the real estate boards, but also with different charities.
Mhm.
Children's Hospital in Birmingham is not far from our home office, and we do a lot of support work for them. Last year, our focus was to try to get laptops and iPads and things like that into kids' hands so that while they're stuck in the hospital, they're not sitting there staring at the wall. You know, a lot of the, offices will do coats for kids, things like that, in the wintertime to provide winter wear for those that need it. School supplies. I mean, pretty much if you call a Rely office and go, "Hey, we're doing a charity thing. We're doing this. Can y'all help?" The answer is gonna be absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's amazing work that you guys do and definitely needed out there. Well, thank you guys. Um, so what is the what's next for Relay or for Lori? Like, what do you guys have on the horizon? Do you have anything big coming up or changing or adding on?
Well, the biggest thing that happened recently, and I don't know how many people are aware, we've had a command structure change, and we are a partner of Acrisure, which a lot of people don't know who Acrisure is. But if you've heard all of the drama over the changing of the name of the Pittsburgh Steelers Stadium, we now own the name to the Pittsburgh Steelers Stadium. So that's really cool because that's my team. So I'm really proud of that. We support the Pittsburgh Steelers and we sponsor them officially, and I think that's amazing. That's just a fluke thing that happened. I just happen to be the one Steelers fan in the entire industry. But Acrisure is a multi-level organization that basically has a very strong financial, insurance, title, and lending world globally. They are everywhere. They're overseas, they're here in America. You probably can't go to a country where there isn't somebody from Acrisure that actually runs an office there. They have large pockets, lots of technology, lots of educational material and experience for folks. Um, Rely was sold about 5 years ago by the company by the family that brought the company out of just an attorney's office to over 20 offices. Rely Settlement Solutions became the biggest title provider in the Southeast under their leadership, and they're amazing people. But it was time at the 5-year mark, they stepped back and let Acrisure go ahead and finish taking control of Rely. And the thing that I really love about the Acrisure umbrella is that they have allowed us to operate independently the way we always have.
Oh, good.
They did not come in, and they do not come in and take over everything, change the way you do everything, and dictate how you will operate your business. That is not what they're about. They're about finding successful companies and investing in it and helping them grow, which is what we're aiming for now. We're looking to expand more into Tennessee. We are looking to expand more into maybe other Florida markets in the future. We'll find out how that works out, but we are looking at a lot of opportunities and it's all pretty exciting because the sky's the limit.
That is really exciting. I love that you mentioned Tennessee. I was just there this weekend. I was telling my mom, I was like, so when Colby goes to college, it might be part time here and part time there because it is so much cooler up there. Purely for the weather because it's not that far. And of course, Nashville's fun.
Yeah.
So, but well, that's really exciting that you guys are looking to grow and build. That's always a good phase to be in. And I cannot stress to any I've been part of building businesses, I've been part of businesses that have grown, and the day you get stagnant is the day you turn into Blockbuster, and Mervyn's and Sears and everything else. So that's I love hearing that. Well, if anybody's listening, they're looking to grow, so you should call Lori. She'll get you hooked up with whoever needs to talk to you. What's something you're most proud of over the time that you've served or serviced titled companies?
I think with Rely, it has to be that when I first started, we were almost exclusively closing for Alice Beach. Like I said, we had the odd closing here, the odd closing there, but it was few and far between. Somewhere about 4 years in, we hit the Alice Beach is only about 45% of our business. So we went from almost exclusively closing for Alice Beach to expanding our business from Pensacola to Panama City enough that they were only half our business. And we still want to develop that outside the development sort of mentality. We're not here just to close Alice Beach, although they are a family member of ours. They own a portion of our office here in Florida, which is kind of unique. But Rely is very JV centered. Um, 4 of our offices, I want to say in Alabama, are JV with developers. And it's become a new avenue for people to do things and to do business. And it's been great for everybody in the offices that we've been working with because it grows the developer's business, it grows our business. You know, it's good for everybody. Um, but I really like that we do a lot of closings for folks that don't even know Alice Beach exists, that aren't doing business with Alice Beach. We love our Alice Beach people, don't get me
Mhm,
wrong. With the level of quality that that development brings, it's very successful, obviously,
mhm.
and it's a good place to be based. We love being in the middle of everything out here and participating in everything that they do. But we also, like I say, want to stay available to pretty much everybody.
Mhm.
We're never going to treat somebody different because you're not buying an Alice Beach home. If you're buying a $50,000 lot, if you're buying a $500,000 home, if you're buying a $5 million property, you're all going to get the same treatment here.
That's good.
Everybody deserves the absolute best closing experience they can get. It does not have to be rich people we're catering to. It does not have to be celebrities we're catering to. Everybody in our book is important and should feel that way. And that's kind of the approach that we've taken. And that's why I like so much that we work outside of Ellis Beach, not just closing for Ellis Beach.
No, I know that the one closing I had there, I think a year and a half ago or something, my clients were very impressed with it being in Alice Beach for one, but then just the treatment that they had and over the top. And anybody I've talked to that whenever somebody asks me for title companies, depending where they're at, like, oh, you gotta go check out Relay. Not just because of where it's at, but they have some real skill there. Like Lori knows her stuff. Usually when I'm calling you or there's one other person I call like at the same time, so I get two, answers, make sure they're matching. And it's like, this is like my fire. If Lori doesn't know, then nobody knows. Like it just doesn't exist. Like it's just, this is one of those like, then you got to call my broker. No, it just means that you have a lot of experience and you know what you're doing and you're a safe person to call with a bunch of questions because you're going to get the right answers. And you're always, I don't think you've ever told me, yeah, I can't do it. You're like, let me find somebody else who might know. So that's my motto is like, I don't have to be the smartest person or know everything. I just got to know who does. And I got to have the
A
number.
100%. 100%. And that's one of the things that gets under my skin the most. If you're working with Rely and the answer I get is, I have no idea, or I'm new, I don't know that, or I don't work in that area, so I couldn't answer that. No, no. The answer is always, I may not have that answer, but I'm going to call somebody in our family that does. And
Mhm.
I'm going to get back to you and connect you to that person so you get your answer. And the good thing too, with our office, we work very heavily with First American Title Insurance as our underwriters. And I have been working with them for the whole 30 years that I've been in this business and know their people personally. And I know that I can pick up the phone and get an underwriting attorney on the phone in just a few minutes that's going to answer whatever difficult question that we have. They are there for us and they have extensive educational resources that we can draw on. And even a lot of our realtors, if they want to know more about things like, for example, 1031s, we had a group that wanted to know more about 1031s. Come on to the office. I will pull up First American's educational page. We'll watch some videos. We'll learn about 1031s. We'll find out the information you want to
I love 1031s. They make things a lot easier.
know.
Those are my favorite.
Can. You know, it's one of
So,
my favorites now that FinCEN is being discussed because if it's a
oh
1031, we
gosh.
don't have to deal with that.
So it's funny because I do a lot because I do work a lot more with investors and that's just the base of my clients. And a lot of them are usually cash heavy or all cash. So I don't get the chance to always work with all the lenders I know. But when FinCEN popped up, I'm like, there might be a way around this. Maybe you get a small lending and then pay it off right. Like, I mean, there might be something else. I was just like, this is gonna throw a wrench. So I'm glad that this I was like, how do I tell somebody's got cash? Hey, yeah, you still gotta wait. Cash is not king
Well,
anymore.
I think it was not to make people wait. I mean, right
No,
now, FinCEN is on the shelf and they're trying to appeal and trying to make it work. But right now, the Texas District Supreme Court has said no. It's not constitutional, can't do it. But we have a third party vendor set up to where all we need is contact information for the main players, and then they will take over vetting the different companies and getting the information and getting us clear to close as quickly as possible. The
that's awesome.
ones that we've done so far, as long as the buyer and the seller are agreeable to signing in and answering questions and whatnot in their system, we've gotten clear to close in just a couple days. It's not even gonna hold
Oh, that's
anything.
bad. I was gonna say because there's a lot of propaganda out there, and I'd say propaganda because it seemed like it was so scary and it's gonna take so long, and I had to make sure that people knew that it could take 30 days. I'm like, that's gonna be a turnoff for cash transactions. And I get why they're doing it. I understand the premise of it, and there is a need at some level. But it just seems like I feel like our world keeps getting bait up with more rules. So
Yeah, you're not wrong. The regulations, for a while there, it looked like they were backing off the regulations in the 80s and 90s, but then 2015 comes around and everything changed. And since then, it just seems like it's become more regulatory intensive. There's more rules, more laws, more whatever, more hoops to jump through. And that's the thing. Being under the Acrisure umbrella, because of the volume, we have access to these third-party vendors at a reasonable rate that we can help people out with that. So we do not have to have a body who is the only person in the company who's getting a million requests for FinCEN stuff trying to push things through. We outsource that to somebody who's a professional at that and let them do their job so we can do ours.
that's smart. That's good. Well, I'm glad you touched on that because that just shows a level of knowledge that you have in the industry and stay on top of all the most recent changes that we have coming through. And that's a big thing. I mean, I do depend on my title and my lenders to keep out, like, I know of it and I just got to know who to call, but I just depend on you guys to really have all the info and be able to guide us through the there's a lot. There's a lot on the back end. I know there's a lot of it's my most recent closing was my client's like, "That was so easy." I'm like, "You have no idea that I called me, the listing agent, and the title, trying to figure out an easement, and we went with somebody for the other side." It was one of those things that was like 30 calls in 2 days, and the listing agent was very kind because I messaged him after and said, "Thank you for your patience," because this was a lot. Even the title company that we had was like, "We've never seen this." I'm like, "Of course you didn't." I like throwing wrenches out there for you.
Why I like this industry. No two files are ever the same. I'm a learner. I like to learn things. I will never stop learning things. Lord, I went to 4 universities. So, if there's a class, I'll take it. Um, but because I also, before I went while I was in banking, before I went into title, I taught college courses for the American Institute of Banking and edited some of their textbooks and things like that. So I'm still in the mindset of let's follow those regulations. When they start talking about law changes on anything that affects the financial industry as a whole, pretty much I'm listening. I'm waiting to hear what they decide so that we know how it's going to affect us.
That makes sense. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you for doing that. And just like I said, you're one of the few that I can call and say, "Hey, this is what I got going on. Who do I call? What do we do? How do we fix it?" Kind of thing. I'm hoping I can call you more with the market picking up. Fingers crossed. God, come on, let's go. Give me a reason to
Absolutely.
support more. So, well, I'm going to wrap us up. And right before I do, Lori, I'm going to have you let us know what your contact is, your contact information, phone number, email, any social handles you guys have so we can check you out online. And just want to thank you for being on today.
Well, I sure appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. We're really enjoying being a part of Real Producers this year. It's a new venture for us going out into some of that, and we're really enjoying it. I am Lori Ogles with Rely Title, part of the Rely Settlement Solutions family in 3 states. My phone number at the office is 850-641-1020. You can call us at any time and ask us any ridiculous question you want. We will find you an answer, even if it's not real estate related. We'll try to find you an answer. You can get with us also at www.rely.us, like United States. You will see the contact information for all of our offices there. And if you want to catch me in person, come on out to our office. We're right next door to George's in Alice Beach, up on the second floor, and you'll find me most months at the WCR meetings when they're kicking off. So, yeah, come on out, be a part, say hi, shake our hand. We'd love to see.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.